What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Jetsgotagun bringing you another gameplay and commentary today. This time we're going to be going over some beginner solo tips.
This game with no less than 10 this time.
Just
we had 11,
just
8.
small things I
Let's
really
get
do
fucking-
in games that help me
15.
secure the dubs in solo. I don't really play too much solos because there's always somebody
them boys
online,
landing
and
at my
it's
trap
either
spot.
duos or squads, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. But as we land right here, I quickly instantly go for the chest, knowing exactly where the spot to break in so I can get a gun. Unfortunately, I do get a sniper rifle, but the sniper isn't a bad weapon. It's just that's not the ideal gun you want to get. Didn't really have any instant confrontation. I thought somebody was gonna land on my house, and that wasn't the case. But usually for tilted, how I run tilted. Oh, somebody did push in here. But usually for tilted, this guy really got in my grill. This is not what you want to do, guys, is run up in there spraying like that. You really want to have an idea of where your enemy's at before you run into the house. You never want to just go in there blindside because you know somebody's in there. Because somebody like me who has common sense is just going to air you down. But yeah. What I do in tilted is I usually just move in a circular motion. I stay towards the outer edges of tilted. You're gonna see in the gameplay what I mean by that, and how that's really how you avoid dying in tilted. As long as you have a shotgun, you have pretty decent aim and some materials, you should be alright in tilted towers. Tilted isn't really too hard. It's just the main thing about tilted is landing. You guys have to get your landing on par if you want to in tilted. See, notice how I maneuver directly to the building behind me after spawning and getting one kill, looking for more players. This kid was obviously camping. I heard some gunshots down here, obviously seeing loot down here. Knowing he didn't move, there's nowhere else he could have been. I used my camera angle to my advantage. That is a lot of things. One thing you guys have to realize when playing Fortnite is use your camera angle for you. When you're near danger and there's a lot of, well, not a lot of, or there's threats nearby, you just gotta be able to use your camera angle. Don't just run in there. This is a third-person game. You got to be able to just turn your camera and find an enemy. Like, I do that multiple times in this game. I just turn my camera angle and spot somebody. Right here, I heard some more gunshots, and this is kind of how you want to fight people. In solos, you kind of want to intervene in fights. That is the best way to win fights in this game, or in solo period, really, is to just intervene in everyone's fight. See, this kid wasn't even ready for me. He knew somebody was coming, but instead of trying to build up or build proper cover in the direction, he boxed himself in, which was not a smart move because I already knew where he was at. That left him very vulnerable from a shotgun hit, and I didn't even have to get a headshot because I knew he was weak. They were both exchanging fire. I saw fire being shot from both sides, so I obviously knew he was hurt. But here I go. This is the circle I'm talking about. I landed those back apartments by Clock Tower, and I rotated all the way around tilted, and now I'm going inside. I hear a player somewhere. And I'm just looking. I see breaking, so instead of just trying to run in tilted, which is something a lot of people do, don't just run inside buildings, guys, and especially in solo, because you will get spotted. I thought he went down low, but that was a mistake on my end. I really thought he was down low because I saw him break the hole, for the chest, but he didn't go there. And this kid unfortunately almost kills me, but I definitely outplayed him. I had him very scared. Very scared, but he got a few taps on me, nothing too major. Fast forwarding over to some more. Tilted is dead. I was really just looting here, getting my HP back up, but Tilted's dead. I'm moving out of tilted because the zone is closing in. Notice where the line is on the map, guys. I know that there's gonna be players around this area because the zone is coming in. Really, that is how you want to play Fortnite, guys. A lot of the times people just either camp in the city or they just move too quick. I haven't technically left tilted yet, but I'm just on the hill, And of course, behind me, here goes one and here goes another. A gunfight literally just broke out behind me. And one tip I can give you guys is use your headset properly, guys. A lot of people have headsets, they have these fancy ass headsets, but they're not using them. If you're not using your headset, what is the point of the game? You know, if you're really trying to take Fortnite serious, if you're trying to be a better player, you gotta use your headset. Using your headset puts you at a big advantage, especially when you can really pinpoint where enemies are coming from. You know, sound is very important in this game. If you're playing with TV sound, you're at a disadvantage. Okay, you're gonna lose a lot of situations. But over here going into this gunfight, I jump pad knowing that I have 2 jump pads, so it's okay for me to burn one, and I really just pressured this kid into folding. Like literally, he wasn't that good of a player. I just took advantage of that and just pressured him. I was just airing him out, pump tack. And guys, this is kind of older gameplay. I didn't even know I had this. This is before the update. Oh yeah, if you guys see the fast switching. But these tips still apply to, you know, anywhere. It's not just about pump tacking or whatever. I don't even need to pump tack, and I'm still a good player now. So it's just the basics of the game. It's just for me to show what's going on, showcase what is going on in the game. How am I thinking? The moves that I'm making. If you guys want to be like Ninja, you want to be like Myth, you know what I'm saying? But of course I'm not as good as those players, but I know what's going on in the game. I know how to analyze situations. A lot of people that play this game do not know how to analyze anything. They're running around with their heads cut off. They don't know what to do. They're looking around. They're just, you know, lost. They're really just waiting to find a player, but they don't know how to find players. It's not a formula. I can't just give you guys, alright, you just sit on the edge of the storm every time and you're gonna find players. That works, but it's not 100%. Like right here in this situation, there were multiple players around me. I knew the storm was coming soon and I had to move. I popped a few shots into him because he was firing at me. I just did that to kind of scare him into like backing off away from me, or, you know, trying to heal up again, while I just make a getaway and book it for the zone. And while we're, you know, going to the next zone here, I just want to talk about positioning. Positioning is key in this game, guys. You have to know when you're in a bad position and when you're in a good position to fight. Right there where I was just at, I was in a semi-bad position to fight. I had the low ground and I was pretty far away from the enemy, even though I had a sniper rifle, even though I was tagging him. And like, that was a bad position. 1, because the storm was coming soon. 2, the circle is not that, it wasn't that far, but it was a distance. And if I would have stayed there and I would have fought him, 50 seconds would have went by and then the storm would have been on my ass right then and there. And 3, he has high ground, obviously. Like, you don't want to, you know, you really don't want to fight people like that when they have high ground. Right here, I start to engage this kid, but the dude right here that I start aiming at has a guided missile, so it really wasn't in my favor. And I think I got hit by this guided missile too. I lost a lot of HP with it. So and this was when the guided missile. I lost a lot of HP, so I just backed off. Like, see, he kept walling up. I was trying to like get in there, like spam my AR shots so I could get in there and just AR him to death or shotgun him to death. But it really wasn't working. He was walling up with wood too fast, so I really couldn't break in. And instead of just trying to stay there and fight, knowing that I'm getting shot by a guided rocket, I just get out of there. Instead, like, this is what I mean by positioning, guys. This is a fantastic example of positioning. I repositioned myself to get the advantage on these players. I wanted to kill them, but I don't even think I end up killing any of those guys down there. Those two guys. I think I killed the guided missile kid. I'm not sure, but I repositioned and I knew the zone was coming, so I just burnt my last jump pad right here, and 2 people end up taking that. But yeah, they didn't really do too much work. And just by keeping the high ground right here in this situation, I was able to stay alive and even get more kills. Instead of taking damage to the storm, well, I think I did take some, but not a lot. Instead of sitting there taking damage by the storm, I repositioned myself and I stayed alive. Sometimes it's better to stay alive than to just run around and go kill everybody. Of course, everybody wants those high kill games. Of course, you want to do good in Fortnite, but you want to stay alive. If you die, how can you get a high kill game? You know, and here's this kid rushing, and he just gets slaughtered in the head. That is an example of poor positioning on his part, looking up and walking. That was just not a smart idea. And the guided missile kid was somewhere down here. I just kind of cut this out. It was just a lot of me shooting, firefight, not really doing too much damage or getting any kills. So I just decided to cut that out. It wasn't really important. Moving on over, we're getting into the last few zones. There's 7 other players. I mean, 7 other players left. I'm just healing up. And I hear some more gunfire. I think gunfire was going on right now. And I'm really just trying to get another pick. Right here, I tagged this kid. Didn't really, you know, get the number I was looking for. That should have been a kill, but it is what it is. I didn't notice this kid to my left until he shot me. He's standing still like a fucking statue over here. So I really didn't know. And then that other kid was walling up. So what I did was I just reposition myself, guys. This is another example. You use your ramps to get over a mountain as fast as you can. You don't have to run up a mountain. Like, there's no rules in Fortnite. I'm gonna stress this enough to you guys. There's no rules in Fortnite. So do what you can do to give yourself the advantage. I just shitted on that kid right there, standing still. At first I didn't even know he was there, and just shitted on him because he really did not have the reaction time to react of what I was gonna do. And I was getting pressured right here by the kid on the side of the hill. And what do? Again, here, repositioning. This is exactly what I'm stressing to you guys. You don't always have to take the high ground. High ground is important. It couldn't be life or death, but you just want to get in a better position to where you will not take damage. That's what I'm trying to get to you guys. You don't have to build up you know, a 10-story base or a 5-story base. You know, that is unnecessary at times. You just have to get in a better position, because in solos there are people still everywhere. You might be having a gunfight in one sector of the map, and there's 3 other gunfights going on in another sector. So whenever you do reposition, you have to be aware of what's going on and who is around you. What kind of environment are you in also, because the terrain matters too. Like this whole gameplay, basically I was in the mountains. Just about every other kill besides the kills that were in tilted were in mountainous areas. So what do? I get on top of the mountains and I destroy enemies from down low. I was looking for this kid, but he was obviously dead. So I move on. One thing you guys don't want to do is stand around in an area too long. When you know you've cleared out an area, there is no point in staying like solid still in that area, especially in solos. There are so many people on the hunt after they hear gunshots, after they you know, they know that you're around. Okay, you just don't want to be sitting there. It's just not smart. And we're gonna cap off this gameplay, guys. That's really it. I really just wanted to stress high ground, well, not high ground, repositioning for the beginners, repositioning, camera angle, and just paying attention, rotating in the map. Learning rotations on the zones is what will keep you alive. You really don't have to be the best player or have the best aim. I didn't really do too much building here, guys. If you notice, I did not have a fort almost the entire game. Basically, I think I only built up like once to heal or something. Like, that was like the campfire. That was really it. I didn't have a base this entire game, and I still managed to drop kills. So you don't, it's not always about who has the best base, or you know, who can make the designer base. It's just about reacting to the players in a situation. You know, how fast can, this is all Fortnite is, just how fast can you react to what someone else is doing. The players that I were playing against obviously weren't the best, so I just took advantage of that. and I see this kid building across the map. Like, this is another thing. When you're playing solos, you want to be smart about what you're doing. You don't just want to do stuff just to do it. Like, just take a second to think. I know it's a pretty fast-paced game. Things happen. You only get one life, but you gotta think about the decisions you make. Like, don't freeze up, okay? Don't just do nothing, okay? That's not what you want to do. You always want to be thinking, what can my next play be? How can I really give myself the advantage on the opponent? How can I, and see right here, I didn't have to build anything, but I chose to build so I could scope the area out. And that wasn't really a good positioning on my part, looking back at it, because the storm was coming, so I had to move. And I just made this right here. I knew this kid wasn't that good, so I was just getting very aggressive. Really just wanted him to shoot at me so I could find him. And here he is, using my camera angle. Like I said, guys, instead of just sticking my whole body out of there, like a dummy, I'm using the camera angle, looking down to see him before he sees me, getting my rockets ready, and just trying to squeeze those rockets in. I see how he's building. He's not a very fast builder. I'm just taking advantage of that with the double rocket. It was 70 rockets, end game. It's a 1v1. What can really go wrong in this scenario? I get sniped, right? So that I'm preventing that by peeking very quickly, shooting both rockets as fast as I can, reloading, taking cover, and just playing smart. You don't, like, in this situation, I know a lot of you guys would have just rushed him, like, you could have done that as well, but staying in a safe spot and keeping the high ground gave me the win. So if you guys like the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.